Let's talk about growing media. Growing media is basically the substance that you're going to grow your plants in. Now, you may have already a favourite growing media that you like to use, and what you use is entirely your choice. This video is basically designed for anyone that might be a little bit confused as to what the best option might be, or anyone that's looking for perhaps a little bit of a cheat. Now, the conventional advice is that you sow all your seeds in seed and cutting compost. Now, seed and cutting compost is basically of a very fine texture, so it's perfect for little tiny roots to move through, and it's usually completely sterile. That means it's got no nutritional value in it whatsoever. Now, it is true that seeds have their own little packet of food within the seed, and that's what they use when they very first germinate. But very quickly after that, they are going to need to start drawing nutrition from the soil. Now, nowhere else in nature does a seed germinate in sterile conditions. It would always be in a position where there was some sort of nutrition in what it was growing in. So I like to think about it this way. Think about two things that are really important when you're selecting your growing media. First things first, it must be peat-free. The harvesting of peat is really bad for the environment, so if it has peat in it, just avoid it. Do not use any products containing peat. The second thing that is really important is the structure of the soil. When you think about the size of the plant roots that are coming out of a seedling, they can be almost microscopically small. So you want something that's a nice fine texture and it's going to be easy for those roots to move through. You don't want something with lots of big hard chunks. Now, it may surprise you to learn that I propagate absolutely everything that I grow in peat-free multi-purpose compost. I don't use seed or cutting compost at all. I will just look for a type of compost that has a nice fine structure, and there are some really fine ones available on the market. Just avoid any of those ones that have big lumps in. Now, you may have heard of coir, and it is quite commonly recommended as a propagation material. Now, I have tried working with coir. It's basically ground up coconut husks, and it does have an absolutely beautiful texture. It's absolutely perfect for propagation from that point of view. However, it is completely and utterly sterile. There is absolutely no nutrition in it whatsoever. Now, I have found that all edible plants absolutely hate growing it in coir. Where I've used it, I've had much slower results, and the plants have either just really slowed down or they've stopped growing altogether. So my advice is to not use it. Even the ones that have added nutrition to them, I find they just don't work terribly well. So as I said, it's entirely your choice what you choose to propagate in, and you can go with the seed and cutting compost. But remember, there's not a lot of nutrition in there, so if you are going to use that, you're going to need to pot those plants up pretty quickly, otherwise they're going to stop growing because there's nothing for them to feed on in the soil. Otherwise, if you just want to make your life easier and you want to possibly save yourself a bit of money, you can just use peat-free multi-purpose compost.